Hi, I'm Dana, and today I want to talk about some of the cons of living alone as an autistic person because I made my little video about the reasons that I need to live alone, and I think a lot of people have misunderstood that as me choosing to. And I guess technically I am if you want to see it very, very black and white. But the reality is that I feel like it's the only choice that I have to have an in any way livable living situation. You know, like I've tried very, very hard to live with people because I actually really, really need daily real life support. And obviously I haven't expected my housemates to provide that, but a lot of the time just having someone around, if I'm not in like an actively declining social situation with them, really, really helps me on the day to day. And just for a variety of reasons, I would much, much rather not live alone. It's just that I've not in any way found a living situation with other people. That hasn't made me consider leaving the planet altogether because it is just so difficult to socialise and communicate and cope with another person. So I thought I'd do a little video going through some of the cons of living alone as an autistic person because I've been doing it for a little while now, and like I say, I'd rather not. It's just that I've not been able to find a remotely decent situation while living with other people. But one of the big ones is that I have much, much higher anxiety around forgetting anything that needs to be done. So I'm talking like I quite regularly am like, fuck, I need to pay my council tax. It should have been paid a week ago. I'd better pay that right now. And then I have to pay it again in 3 weeks. And it just, lots of things feel like they're coming up at me all at once because I remember them all at once. I haven't had any big like serious issues yet because I do eventually remember. I don't know when that's gonna stop. I don't know when there's gonna be something else on my mind and I just forget to pay something that I need to be paying and I'm fucked and I owe someone somewhere a shit ton of money that I don't have. Like I end most months with a very minimal amount left, if anything left in my bank account. I don't have extra to be paying to people to pay back for stuff and things like that. Like I just flat out do not have it. I don't know how I would pay things off if I ended up with any sort of debt. And similarly, I've been in like a rather lucky situation here in some ways because I did originally move in with a housemate who then became my landlord, so they've continued paying the bills. I will wait for that car to go past. I have technically like gotten very lucky in situations where I have not yet had to pay my own bills. Like I don't actually know how to pay my own bills. To be completely honest with you, I don't get it. My agency for my next house has sent me a website that I need to register with that's apparently going to put it all into one place for me. I'm extremely fucking thankful for that, but I know that's not usually the situation because I've been moving into a new place and I've been talking to my housemate and been like, what do I need to do? How do I do it? And they've just gone, oh, I'll do it. And the reality is that I would rather know how to do it. I would have liked it to be explained. I would have liked to like go through it with them and see how it's done. I have like 70,000 other things on my mind. I've just moved house. It all stresses me out to such a degree that I struggle to even be able to read paperwork. Like my vision goes blurry because I am so overwhelmed and anxious about it all. And I'm just gonna have to get through that and deal with it on my own this time and get it sorted because otherwise I won't have gas and electric and water and internet and things like that. So I'm just gonna have to learn and deal with it. I would much rather be able to have a housemate that deals with it. Like I said, I'm very, very fucking lucky and don't have to pay bills here. I don't know how the fuck I'm paying them when I move. My last situation, I was paying half of the bills, but I just sent it to my housemate and they paid the bills with it. And they were meant to be paying lion's share, but never actually did. But whatever, you know, we live, we move. So I have a whole bunch of anxiety around there that is immediately lessened just by living with somebody, doesn't matter who, just by living with somebody and having them sort it. Because someone's gonna have to. Let it be them. I will send you the money, I'll pay my bills. I don't know how to actually do it and I'm gonna have to figure it out, but I don't actually have a single clue. And alongside that anxiety, the anxiety of just general things happening in the house. Like I've not had to deal with it yet because I'm extremely careful while I'm cooking to try to not have to deal with it. I do not know what to do when fire alarms go off. Everyone else just turns them off. I don't understand how. Every single house that I've moved into, it's gone off at some point, usually because of my housemate. And it's one of those things where like, I'm usually the closest person to it and they're like, well, sort it. And I've pressed the button, I've waved a tea towel over it, I've opened all the doors and windows, there's no smoke left, I've pressed the button again. It doesn't fucking turn off. And the more it's going, the more overwhelmed I'm getting and the more I just want to like sit down on the floor and cover my ears and let someone else fucking deal with it. And genuinely, I have never in my life managed to turn off a fire alarm on my own. And the other person will just walk up and like press the button or waft a towel and it just turns off and it's like, I literally did that. I genuinely fucking did that. I don't know why I didn't turn it off. And I'm so scared of my fire alarms going off, and I'm terrified of ending up in a situation where I'm just sat there covering my ears until like a neighbour knocks on to see what's going on or something, because I just get so fucking overwhelmed and I can't function, I can't cope with it, and I don't know what to do. I also have a lot more just general anxiety and panic and worry through the night when living alone, because I know it's very unlikely that I'm going to be broken into, because quite frankly I don't have anything worth robbing. But any sound that I hear around the house, any noise, anything that's a little bit out of the ordinary, I absolutely shit myself. My heart's racing, I'm sweating, I can't get to sleep, I'm laying in bed in an absolute like grip of fear, because I'm so convinced someone's breaking into my house and they're gonna like murder me horribly and stretch it out and make it really long, and I'm fucking terrified. Whereas if I have a housemate, I'm like, the housemate, it's the other person that lives in the house moving around. There's no panic, there's no anxiety, it's just the other person. And similarly, like, I keep a hammer, like a big vintage hammer by my bed in case someone breaks in. But even if someone did break in, what am I doing? What am I doing? I have no fucking clue. I really don't know. I think I would honestly just lay in bed and listen to them rob me, or watch them rob me if they came into my room. But again, I don't know what they'd be fucking robbing, to be honest with you. But I'm so scared of someone breaking into my house while I'm here, and I'm also terrified of someone breaking into the house while I'm not here and letting my cat out. Like, that is my concern. Take my stuff. Please close the door when you enter and when you leave so my cat doesn't escape. I'm so scared of coming home and my cat just not being in the house. And I don't have that same fear when there's a housemate there, which I should, because my first housemate let two of my cats out, so I probably should have been more scared while living with people. But I feel so much less anxious just having somebody around the house and feeling like if anything goes wrong, if I need to know something, if something happens, I'm not in it on my own, you know? Like, just being able to bounce thoughts off someone else and have someone else give me the thought. Because a lot of things that are incredibly obvious and are just complete common sense that everybody knows do not strike me at all in the moment. Like, it's not that I like wrote it off or decided it was too simple. It did not flash into my brain whatsoever. I did not have the slightest fucking clue, and as such I'm just living with a constant perpetual anxiety of something going wrong and something happening. And it's not even anything huge, you know? Like, the fear isn't my house is going to burn down. My fear is the fire alarm's going to go off and I'm not going to be able to turn it off. I've also had much more success with my eating and managing to go shopping and things like that when I've lived with someone before the social dynamic goes wrong. I've had housemates that I've been able to like go and do my shopping with. It is so much easier for me to just, that's the thing, is like, I'm aware that I don't need like a carer to take me shopping, because I don't need someone to like do my shopping for me. Doing my shopping on my own is quite often something I'm not able to do. I go in and I buy some random shit because I can't function as a person while I'm in there, and then I don't have the ingredients for a meal and I'm ending up having to order out anyway. Just having a friend, just having an acquaintance that can walk around with me and I can be like, oh, if I get this and this, I could make this, and if I got that, I could cook this, and then they'll be like, oh, and you could get that too. And it just makes every single choice and decision so much easier. It means that I'm actually considering what recipes I can make as I'm buying things. I'm considering what I actually like. Like, I can't explain to you how just having somebody there to talk to about it and talk back to me makes it a bearable situation where I get the things I actually need. Whereas when I go on my own, I so often end up with like a random assortment of things where I can't make a meal, I don't know what to do with any of it. I've bought something I don't even fucking like and I don't know why I got it. Like, it's a nightmare. Whereas just having someone there makes it so much easier. And then that's where, again, when it's going well, I have someone to cook for. If we can do like every other night, or if like I cook dinner and you cook lunch, like, having someone to, not even to cook with, like, you don't need to be there with me while I cook. Just having someone else that is relying on me getting up to cook in order to have food to eat, I find that so much easier. I find that so motivating. I'm able to like draw the energy from the fact that they need me. I'm sure it's a people-pleasing tendency that I should probably get over, but I'm able to do it. It just makes it so much easier for me. I am making sure that you are eating. If I've told you that I will feed you, if I've told you you're getting a meal out of me, if you've been like, oh, could you cook tonight? You bet your ass I can cook. I'll do you a dessert as well. I will do a fucking good meal. It'll be nutritious and hearty and it'll be exactly what you need. And I can do it and it's fine. If I need to do that for myself, good chance I'm not. Good, very high chance that I'm not. You know, most of my meals aren't like proper meals, but they're the closest that I manage. and just making sure that I have food in, that I can cook and turn into an actual meal. Actually getting up to cook and do the food are things that I find a lot easier when there's just people around, you know, when there's someone I can feed, when there's someone else doing it too. I just find it significantly easier. And obviously there's the other side of that, of like having housemates that suddenly need to cook right when I was about to cook and things like that, or I've had the housemates that just use my things and then leave them dirty, so I come down expecting to just be able to cook, and suddenly I also have to do my dishes, which aren't my dishes, but they are my things that I cook with, so I'm gonna have to wash them. Like, having the right people around is what I really, 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 really need. Having the right sort of housemate, and it's just not something I've been able to find, and that's what leaves me with feeling like I don't have the choice of living with people. But I really wish that I did. I've also done a much, much, much better job of personal hygiene when there's people around. And sure, it's shame-based, which I don't necessarily think is the best for my mental health, but I do think it's better for my body when I manage to actually shower like 3 times a week, because I don't want my housemate to think I'm stinky and gross, versus managing to shower once every week, once every 9 days sort of thing. Like, definitely better for my body when I'm doing it more often. See, I was tempted to say it's better for your mental health as well, because I always see that pushed online, but I honestly don't feel like there's a difference between my mental health whether I've showered or not. It just depends how tired I am, you know, it's just energy that I've used to do the thing. But like I say, having the shame-based motivation of like, I don't want my housemate to think I'm fucking gross, means that I'm actually cleaning my body and maintaining personal hygiene a hell of a lot better. And that was very helpful. And it is one of those things where when I move, people keep being like, oh, well, why don't you join clubs where you are? Because I'm moving in less than 2 weeks, and because there aren't any. I went looking for them, there aren't any. I know it feels unbelievable. I live in an extremely like poverty fucking afflicted area. There aren't any free clubs here. There's nothing I can afford to go to here. The place that I'm intending to move to does have a lot of clubs, and as such, I'm hoping that the shame motivator will kick in there, and I'll be like, well, I don't want these new people that I'm meeting to think I'm all stinky and gross, so I'll shower for those. But I'm so scared of meeting new people and doing new things. It's going to be a whole thing, but we thrive, we move, we try, we do our best. And I'm hoping that things will improve post-move, but I also am going to be using a hell of a lot of energy to actually move, you know? I don't really know how it's going to go. I just know that I'm going to try. I also have a huge amount of anxiety around Otis. And one of the big things that has changed for him since we've not been living with people is he has much more regular vet visits. I took him to the vets, you know, probably a bit more regular than most people take their cat to the vet anyway, because I just get so fucking anxious about him. And like, he coughs up a hairball and I'm convinced he's dying, and then I take him to the vet and they're like, he's fine, and I'm like, I know, I just get anxious, I'm sorry. But while living with other people, I could quite often be like, does this look weird to you? Does this look like this? Do you think this of this? Has he done this? Have you noticed this? You know, like, I had someone else's opinion on it, or like I could get a second opinion and be like, what do you think of this? And being here on my own with him and having to, like, he did develop quite bad bald patches that are properly growing back now. They really are. Well done, my baby. And I'm fairly sure it was just a food allergy, but I was sending pictures to friends of the back of his neck, and like, if I put the light on it, he looked like he was really bald in a way that he wasn't. But if I took the light off, you couldn't see that there was anything happening there whatsoever. So I don't feel like they're getting an accurate representation of what's happening, simply because I don't have the fucking phone quality. And like, it just, I get so anxious and so stressed and so panicked about not doing what's right for him, not maintaining his needs, not through like intentional neglect, but through just not noticing, through just not knowing, through just knowing that I'm extremely anxious about him and telling myself that it must be okay when it actually isn't. Just having someone else's opinion on it in person, in real life, would be so incredibly helpful to me so often. And while I was actually living with people, I had that, you know, even if it was someone that was like, I don't really know much about cats. I was like, exactly, so does this look like it's a normal cat thing or no? Like, I feel like, just tell me, like, if you don't know, tell me if it feels normal or not. And I still definitely hook into the vets a bit more often than I needed to. I can't tell you how many vets have looked at me like I'm insane and been like, he's completely fine and actually really nice. And I'm like, I know, he's my perfect little boy. And then I'm like, why the fuck did I bring him all the way here? But I also would much rather look a bit silly in front of a vet than leave something to happen and develop for him that didn't need to, you know? So like, I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing, but it does cost me money and it does definitely stress him out, and it is something that I just wouldn't need to go through so much. If I had a second person here, she'd just be like, no, he's fine. I am really glad that I'm in a position in life where I do very much keep my environment clean and tidy for me. I've had a much harder time cleaning up after myself and keeping things clean and tidy while I've been living with people, because they've made so much more fucking mess and not cleaned up after themselves and blamed it on me. So that is one area where, like, me 10 years ago, if I'd moved out like on my own then and not with a partner, I absolutely would have let it just fall to shit, because there's no one there to tell me to clean anything up, there's no one there to tell me to tidy, I didn't have any sort of like self-worth or self-respect or self-confidence or just any care for myself or my surroundings. And I absolutely, without having someone there to, you know, psychologically and emotionally abuse me into becoming a clean and tidy person, I absolutely would have just let it fall to shit. But as much as that's also like where it stemmed from and how it started with him being really shitty and abusive towards me for not being perfectly clean and tidy, I am like really glad and quite proud of myself, if I'm honest, for developing it to a point where it's like, well, I deserve to live in a clean and tidy environment. Like, it's for me, I prefer this, I feel better, it's nicer, I deserve it. And obviously also Otis, but mostly me. But yeah, it's just the thing of like, with my first and third housemate the first couple of months, with the housemate in the middle the first 3 hours maybe, like the first little chunk when we're still like sociable and civil and everything's alright before it just randomly falls apart and I don't know what the fuck's going on, where they're just treating me like a fucking housemate and with a little bit of respect. That's been like the nicest sort of living experiences of my life, you know? Like, that's by far been the easiest and most and least anxious phases of my life. Living alone is less anxiety inducing than the really horrible parts that followed that. It's nowhere near as nice as the good part. You know, if I could just live with a good housemate who isn't a close friend, who just, we can remain civil and respectful towards each other, that would be the ideal. That would be what I realistically like actually want and need. You know, like, especially like, I haven't budgeted shit. I have not properly looked at my financial things. I submitted all of my referencing and the agency decided that they're going to give it to me. I don't realistically know that I can afford to live alone. I don't know if I'm going to be absolutely fucked once I move. I'm really just gonna have to try, because we are not in a system that likes like a one-person household, and I'm shitting myself. I'm absolutely shitting it, having someone else to share the financial stuff, especially when it comes to like council tax and bills and just rent and like the whole fucking shebang essentially. Having a second person to do that stuff would actually be so much fucking better and easier and just so much less anxiety inducing. Like, those are the reasons that I would prefer to be living with someone. I just have had enough negative experiences that very nearly pushed me to the absolute fucking edge, to the point of like not being here anymore, that I don't think it's worth me trying again, especially not like back to back after the last 3 being back to back. And then that's the thing as well, I'm like, my last 3 housemates, it's like, well, before that I had my abusive older boyfriend that was horrible to me, and before that I had my neglectful parents and really abusive siblings. Like, I just want a little bit of time to fucking settle and feel okay, and to see what a normal fucking life without someone trying to fuck you up is like, you know? I've run out of memory again, but it was literally as I said, so that's the end of the video. So I'm sorry, but I'm not doing the whole footage fucking switch around, delete, sorted out thing. This is going to be your intro. So if you want more content just like this, exactly like this, I'll do this every time. If you want more content like this, you can like and subscribe. That would be really cool. If you want to see more of me, you can also find me over on Instagram or TikTok. And if you really like me, you can also find me over on Patreon or Ko-fi and pay me for existing, and that would be super sick, because I don't know if I can afford to live on my own and I'm very scared. So yeah, I also have the Patreon that you can gain access to. Please, only adults. Just be chill, just be cool, don't be a child, literally. Like, I'm not saying don't act like one, I'm saying literally over 18s only. You can join by finding the link on Patreon, but you can also message me if you don't want to pay me to join a community of like-minded autistic people where we have a fun time. So that is that. We're finished. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days. Do you want to have a quick look at Otis? Will it do the effect on him? No, it won't. But doesn't he look cute? He's just a baby. He's just the sweetest little man. Oh, my baby boy, you're so lovely. Oh, a big mouth, a big yawn on the little boy. Oh, it wants to. Can we just... Oh, it's not doing it.